Emergency orthopedic logic suggests that when high-energy trauma is paired with severe joint pain, the underlying architecture has failed. One expects to find shattered bone or a dislocated joint. This was the working hypothesis for a 19-year-old female who presented after falling 3 meters during a cheerleading routine, landing forcefully on her buttocks. Despite her stable vital signs, she reported agonizing, localized pain deep within her left groin. Her hip joint appeared mechanically locked. She arrived with her left leg frozen in a 30-degree flexed posture. Any attempt to extend the hip beyond that 30-degree angle was impossible. The pain was too intense for the patient to tolerate standard range of motion or straight leg raise testing. A locked, intensely painful hip following a high-energy fall typically indicates a femoral fracture or a posterior hip dislocation. However, the patient described a secondary set of symptoms that complicated the structural diagnosis: numbness and sensory loss radiating down the anterior thigh. This sensory deficit mapped specifically to the L2 to L4 dermatome pathway, indicating localized nerve root or peripheral nerve involvement. To evaluate the motor function, the clinical team initiated manual muscle testing, specifically assessing the quadriceps. The testing returned a 4 out of 5 score. Clinically, this means the muscle can fire and resist some pressure, but there is measurable weakness when compared to the healthy side. Testing then shifted to the knee, where the right patellar tendon reflex was normal, but the left reflex was entirely absent. This specific cluster of deficits, anterior thigh numbness, quadriceps weakness, and an absent patellar reflex, points to a single anatomical culprit: the femoral nerve. The diagnostic paradox was clear. The mechanism of injuries suggested a massive bone fracture, yet the symptoms revealed a highly localized peripheral nerve paralysis. A blunt force impact to the buttocks rarely severs a major nerve tucking deep within the front of the leg. To confirm the suspected fracture or dislocation, the trauma bay team immediately ordered plain radiographs. These images show the antero-posterior and lateral views of the hip joint. The skeletal architecture is intact, the joint space is normal, the femoral head is properly aligned, and the cortical bone shows no signs of trauma. Standard X-rays are blind to deep soft tissue pathology. Relying solely on skeletal imaging risks missing a hemorrhage capable of causing permanent, irreversible nerve damage. Because of the severity of the patient's pain, the team escalated the imaging to an MRI to search for an occult fracture that the X-rays might have missed. Even on the T1-weighted MRI, the proximal femur appears normal. The marrow signal within the femoral neck and head is uninterrupted, confirming there was no occult bone injury. The team then utilized a stir sequence MRI. This modality is designed to suppress fat signals and make fluid, like blood from a fresh hemorrhage, glow brightly on the screen. This axial slice reveals the true pathology. The bright white, hyper-intense regions indicated by the arrowheads show an extensive detachment and hematoma within the left iliacus muscle. The trauma triggered a violent hyperextension that ripped the iliacus muscle from the inside out, creating a hidden, bleeding void while the bone remained intact. Understanding how a bruise deep inside a pelvic muscle paralyzes the quadriceps requires a look at the local anatomy. The femoral nerve runs like a conduit directly between the psoas major and the iliacus muscle. Covering these muscles and the nerve is the iliac fascia, a dense fibrous sheet of connective tissue that tightly seals the entire compartment. This fascia is utterly unyielding. It does not stretch to accommodate additional volume. This creates a critical bottleneck at the lacuna musculorum, the narrow gateway where the muscle and nerve must pass beneath the inguinal ligament to exit the pelvis. As the hematoma bleeds, the iliacus muscle rapidly swells. Because the fascia cannot expand, the muscle crushes the femoral nerve against the rigid ceiling. This mechanical crushing of the nerve fibers disrupts signal transmission, resulting in the numbness and weakness observed in the emergency department. This paralysis is the result of a claustrophobic anatomical design. The femoral nerve is crushed by its own neighboring muscle, which has nowhere to go but up. With the nerve actively being compressed, the clinical team faced a surgical dilemma: drain the blood immediately or wait and observe. Medical literature dictates that complete paralysis, represented by a 0 out of 5 strength score, typically requires emergency surgical decompression to preserve nerve function. Because this patient retained a 4 out of 5 strength score, the nerve was only partially compressed, leaving critical functional pathways intact. Furthermore, the MRI confirmed that the absolute volume of the hematoma was relatively small, despite its location at the lacuna musculorum. The team chose a conservative treatment protocol, placing the patient on strict bed rest to prevent further muscle contraction and bleeding. Bed rest allows the body's natural hemostasis to stop the bleeding, and once the hemorrhage stops, the trapped blood begins to resorb, naturally decompressing the nerve over several days. In cases of incomplete nerve palsy, avoiding the morbidity of deep pelvic surgery is preferred, provided the physician carefully monitors for any neurological decline. By day 7, pain subsided enough for gait training with crutches. By day 11, numbness reduced and strength stabilized, allowing for discharge. At her 60-day follow-up, the patient reported total symptom resolution and a perfect 100-point hip score. Traumatic iliopsoas hematomas with nerve palsy are exceptionally rare, with fewer than 40 documented cases in medical literature. This rarity makes the condition easy to confuse with a spinal disc herniation or a simple muscle strain, potentially delaying the MRI needed to diagnose the compression before the nerve sustains permanent damage. When severe hip pain and neurological deficits follow high-energy trauma, a clean X-ray does not mean a clear diagnosis. One must look past the bone, suspect deep tissue hemorrhage, and utilize early MRI to uncover the